Welcome to part 28 of the Kicho Wong Dong series. In this episode, we'll be looking at a technique called Fuko Sansumaki. This is a follow-on from a video I did previously, part 6, where I covered the Chunko Sansumaki. Now, the techniques are almost identical, so I really advise that you watch that video first. Just the Chunko, meaning front stance, is in front stance with the shoulders square, and this video is for it in back stance. So a lot of things I'm going to say are going to be familiar, so I'm going to speed right along. So to warm up, you need to be able to do an in to out with a reinforced block, palm facing you, hand out, and your other hand reinforces, comes from the hip. The other proviso is that you are in a back stance, shoulders back, and 70% of the weight on your back leg, 30% on the front leg. Apart from that, the warm-up is identical, so I'm going to go straight into the technique. What you have to feel when you're doing this technique is instead of pushing forward and thrusting to go off, you're now pulling something onto you. So as you practice the technique, my advice is when you start to be in Chumbi is to step back and perform the technique, come from your waist and sit on your back foot. So you're bringing something down, and you should feel that in the technique. In the applications later, I will explain it. Once you've got that motion of bringing your hands into your hip and blocking down, you can start to walk forwards. And what we also do in Tang Soo Do, which is called Fujin, is to do the same technique going backwards. I always find with back stance techniques that walking backwards is more natural for the weight distribution. I'm going to go straight into common mistakes now. Number one is the angle of the backhand, where the palm is down and this is the soft side of the arm. Again, if we think that we're cutting or blocking or stripping down, we want it to be the knife edge blade of the arm, the clubbing side of the arm, to be facing down with the palm facing you and the back of the hand facing forward. So make sure when you do this technique, you are bringing forward the hand in line, not quite touching to the front. The next common mistake we're going to look at is shoulders being square. So again, because people are used to doing Chunko Sansumaki in front stance, they're used to having their shoulders square. Think of this more as Yup Mako that we covered in a previous video, with the hand coming back. So again, some of you might not have the flexibility to bring your arm all the way forward. This is fine. Main element is to bring your shoulder back. So remember, not square, shoulders back. The third element, and again this is very rare but I have seen it from time to time, is people do not bring their hands all the way back before they block. They kind of come together as they block, more like an out to in, a move that you might see in a form like Nahanchi Chodan. So make sure that the hands come back to the waist before you block. Remember that when you look at these techniques, the hands coming back to the waist is more than likely going to be your block or strip or start of the technique, the actual important bit. And then the next bit, what is seen as the block, is more likely the strike. So as your hands bringing back, that's clearing the limb or blocking or moving something. And then the actual last position of the move is the strike or throw or choke. Once you have the technique down, it's very important to test it. These are three different ways of looking at the block and how they are different to Chunko Jasa. So again, watch the part 6 video for the drills there. These are going to be slightly different. The first one I like to look at is as someone comes in with a punch, you step back and cover up. So you're covering up and this hand reinforces. The nice thing about this backhand now is it can quickly grab the person to bring into a knee, and you might see an application like this in a form like Pyang Sadan. So again, they come in, you strike and block, and they can come in with a couple of shots. You can then, after you've blocked, quickly with the other hand, it's not brought all the way back, it's still up covering, is grab in and knee or do some sort of trip or throw. Drill number 2 now is where they've grabbed your lapel and you step back. So whichever side they grab, that is the side you bring back, and then the downward motion of the arm comes down with the front hand doing an uppercut. So again, it might not have the same preparation as the traditional block, but the ending position is the same. Hand comes in, grabs you, you pull down and grab. And again, you can walk back 3 or 4 times with your partner and then grab them going back and forth. The last one is a little bit of a stretch to see in the technique, but I have found it very important for when you're in a grappling situation. So to start this drill, you have your right hand on your partner's neck, they have their right hand on the back of your neck, and then with your left hand you're holding on to their forearm close to you. So the way you have to think of it is that your left arm is out of commission. So to do this drill, what happens is you have the back of their hand, You let go of your left hand because your right arm is stuck. You push it over your head onto your opposite shoulder and then drag the person in to bring them into a choke. Now again, when dealing with chokes, you need to make sure you're doing this slowly and your partner needs to tap before they're in any danger. Hope you've enjoyed this video on the Fuko Sansu Maki, the double hand block in back stance. If you're enjoying these videos, please like and subscribe. Comment below about any technique you'd like to see in the future, and I hope you're all enjoying your training and staying safe. Thank you very much for watching. Tang Su.